Hello and welcome to the Book Thing. My name is Mark and today I'm continuing with my reread of the entire Discworld series by Terry Pratchett, and today's video is about Reaper Man. So, like most of the best Discworld stories, the concept of Reaper Man is very simple to sum up, and it is, what if Death, the Grim Reaper, got sacked? So for the first time we are introduced to these grey hooded figures who are kind of referred to as the auditors of reality. There are these nondescript entities which really dislike any level of disorder in reality, and they have felt that Death of the Discworld, the Grim Reaper himself, has started to become too human, has started to identify too much with the souls that he is responsible for, and they believe it is time for him to be put out to pasture. So Death is effectively fired. He is given a golden egg timer with the remaining years that he is allowed to live out left. And then he goes and takes a job as a labourer on a small farm. In the meantime, before a new personification of Death is created, everything is in a bit of a state of flux. So souls that were supposed to have died haven't actually moved on. Effectively, their lives have come to an end, but they haven't died yet. And that's personified by the character of Windlepoons, who was one of the ancient wizards from Unseen University, who we last saw in Moving Pictures, who has come to the end of his life. His life is ended, but he hasn't died, so effectively making him one of the Discworld's first zombies. Other strange things start to happen due to an excess of life energy being around, more ghosts, and also these strange things start popping up in Ankh-Morpork, which hasn't been seen there before, but we would recognise as things like snow globes and shopping trolleys. So through Windlepoons, we start to see some new types of creatures that we haven't seen on the Discworld before, such as vampires and banshees and bogeymen and zombies and werewolves and various other undead type creatures. And Reaper Man serves as an introduction to a lot of these different races, some of which go on to become really quite important and have quite important characters in some of the later Discworld books. What also starts to pop in is some different personifications for Death. So individual deaths for various different creatures around the Discworld, most notably being the death of rats, or as he later becomes known, the Grim Squeaker. I enjoyed Reaper Man a lot, but it is a bit of two stories happening in parallel. Story number one is about Death's retirement, working on the farm, connecting with humanity more, and then subsequently attempting to reclaim his place as Death of the Discworld. The other story is what happens to Windle the Wizard, who is undead as a result of not dying when he was supposed to, and what is going on around Ankh-Morpork and the excessive build-up of life energy. And one of those stories is a lot more successful than the other, and the one that is the most enjoyable is the Death story. So when we're with Death and what's going on with him, the story is really shining. When we're looking at what's going on in Ankh-Morpork, it's less interesting. But that being said, it's a great follow-up to Mort. We get to see the character of Death a little bit more, and he's one of the most enjoyable characters in the Discworld. So if you decided to start reading the Death series with Mort, Reaper Man is a great follow-up which you'll thoroughly enjoy. I gave it 4 stars. It would have been probably higher if I'd liked the parallel story a little bit more. So that was my review of Reaper Man. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider hitting the like button. The next book I'll be reviewing is Witches Abroad, which is the 12th book in the Discworld series, and as the name suggests, a continuation of the Witches sub-series. So if you're interested in watching that, please consider hitting the subscribe button. In the meantime, thank you very much for taking the time to watch this, and take care.